trade in.
You got a good deal for it then, yeah?
£270 for my old phone.
That's not bad.
Plus a discount on the new one. So
'Cause it
basically,
was-
got a brand new phone for just over £300. Just the last couple of weeks, I just have to say, we got 1, 2, 3 Ed Rogers thing, but we've been talking before it, and normally we're sitting going, and all that kind of stuff, and don't want to get caught out.
I know. I know.
You know?
I know. I like that T-shirt.
I'm literally only in the door about 40 minutes ago. I mean, you've had hours to prepare for this. Honestly, I mean, me and you, this is our busy time of year. You're only in the door about 10 minutes ago.
Not even.
Aye, and I got home. I come up from Dublin this afternoon. Stopped off in Uri. We'll talk about that in a wee bit, and then on up. But I had two ladies from Kentucky, and they brought me a T-shirt. Horse racing and roses, mint juleps and jockeys. Louisville, Kentucky. The one thing they don't mention is Muhammad Ali is also from Louisville, Kentucky. And one of the girls that was there, funny woman, she's actually a comedian. She lives just down the road from where Muhammad Ali's buried. So at some point I'll be there. So you never know, I might run into her again. And thank her for the T-shirt.
Very nice. Let us know if you're watching tonight. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Telegram, Twitch, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes.
Hey. Let me drop this out the Cross Keys. Lovely, really nice whiskey. Lovely little pot style whiskey. But yeah, good stuff. But no, I've been busy all week, Justin. So have you. Justin, tell me this. What the fuck was going on the other day? Pardon my French. What's this here? Huh?
That's just Miss World Northern Ireland.
Yeah, Miss World Northern Ireland being harassed in stocks.
They just happened to be in the restaurant I was in, and I was just chitty-chatting away to them. And I said, girls, listen, can I have a selfie? Can I have a selfie?
And you done it anyway?
They said, yeah, by all means, have a selfie.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay, yeah. No, I could see how that would pan out.
No telephone numbers, unfortunately.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. As they probably would say, I'm old enough to be their dad. I'm old enough to be their dad.
Hello, can you just come and give us assistance here? There's a strange wee man poking about.
I know. No joy. More chance of we winning the lottery.
I would have thought so. Probably more chance of you winning the lottery twice in a row.
Okay. Yeah. I know. Say Liffey.
But like I said, no, and you can't man, Justin. That's the way to look at it.
I know.
It's the way to look at it.
It was. People like that photo anyway.
Oh yes. I had a couple of people commenting on it today. I did have to laugh. But anyway. No, good on you, my son. Good on you.
Look who's watching tonight. Good evening from the Tobacco Barn in the USFA. There you go.
I find myself talking about this distillery all the time. Here's what you say. Our Day Bourbon is at Old Warden Aerodrome, just north of London, as part of the 80th anniversary of D-Day. Now, this is the Tobacco Barn Distillery. Do you remember a couple of years ago, they did the 750 mile an hour bourbon, which I have a bottle of upstairs. Well, they're doing one now where they're taking bourbon across for the anniversary of D-Day, the 80th anniversary of D-Day. And I got asking Scott about, well, what's it going to be? Is it just labelled as a whiskey? And he says, no, because it technically doesn't leave American soil. It's all on US Army transport vehicles. It doesn't technically, so it's going to be a bourbon. And that's again one of these strange things, but all the better for doing it. I must get a catch. We'll get a catch up.
Pretty cool. That sounds.
It is pretty cool. and the money is going to charity from it. So yeah, excellent stuff, excellent stuff. But we'll find out more about that very shortly. So we will. Now, uh, what we do first? We'll do a bit of news first because we haven't much time to prepare this. I had about an hour on the train on the way up to so there it stays on the DC3. So there you go. So it's basically it is on American. Technically, it's still in American jurisdiction. Probably the best way of putting it. So yeah, it's going to be a bourbon.
Good stuff. I seen all the bourbon barrels today sitting there ready to go to Bushmills and get filled up. You know, on the back road into the dark hedges there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Aye. These days those barrels cost a fucking fortune, absolute fortune of money. But anyway, right, we'll do a wee bit of news. We'll do a bit of news because first things first, Justin. Secondary market prices took a little bit of it. Remember, I told you they were in a bit of a dive. Well, they kind of went down like this.
That
At
sounds
the
like
weekend.
Bitcoin.
Yeah. Maybe not just as bad as Bitcoin, to be honest. Bitcoin's back like this, and then it'll go like this, and then possibly like this again, and then somebody will ban it, and then it'll go like that. But anyway, at the weekend, now I sent you the link for the auction last week, and there's a couple of bits and pieces in it of note. If you nip down to about the €2,000 bottles.
Okay, that's previous auctions.
Previous
Yes.
auction that I sent to you.
Yep.
Because there's a 2009 Middleton which sold or didn't sell. There's a lot of stuff didn't sell for €2,000.
That it? Yep.
Should be about there. I can't see it. It's a little bit small.
I know,
but
that's the biggest they can make it.
Now, a 2009 Middleton up until last weekend would have run you about 4K, roughly, on the Whisky Ocean. Back up again, Justin, down, up. These ones weren't getting 2,000, which is a big thing. There's a Lux.
Wow! Oh my God!
A Lux 34 that didn't sell for 2,000. Just lots of stuff that didn't meet anywhere near what its reserve would have been.
Are people panicking, Marty?
I think there's a couple of reasons for this. I think for a while now, the financial crisis and people are a bit worried about their pockets. That's one thing. Last week, Whiskey Live happened, so I think a lot of people had spent some money down there. Maybe there were a lot of people out on the piss. I don't know, but there's a load of stuff didn't get anywhere near what it should have been. Pilgrimage bottle from Waterford. At the peak, they were probably going for about €1,200, something like that. 440 euro. So about a third of the price. Then Dunville's Port Morant. Now these have always a Port Morant Dunville's. They were £600 retail. And don't get me wrong, fabulous stuff. I mean, fantastic whiskey, and an amazing set of casks. One of those ones is probably a bit of a modern classic, if I'm totally honest, but was really, really highly priced to start with. Port Morant went for €350. Now, obviously, that's including fees and so on and so forth, but €350. Adding 15% plus shipping, it's going to cost you just over €400.
Buyer's market then? Buyer's market? Buy now if you can afford to?
but there's loads of stuff. But the one that really sort of struck a chord, there was the one that really struck a chord. There was a Bushmills rare cask Grand Cru, which at its peak was doing 3k, €3,000, and somebody put no reserve on it. At the weekend, it went for €310,
Wow.
a tenth of the price.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, is it going to stay like that? I don't think so. I think it will bounce back again. But at the minute, it's a buyer's market. The likes of the Crystal Malt Bushmills, they were going for like €100, a little over €100. Normally they're 4. Millennium Bushmills, again, normally they're 2.5, £100, going for a little over 100 at the weekend past. So it's there's, I mean, Marsala cask Bushmills, it's £400 a bottle, and they were going for about 220 the weekend past. So there's lots of stuff to be picked up. And if I'm honest, I think there's a bit of a readjustment there, because lots of it just went a bit crazy, and loads of stuff going for the flippers tripling and doubling their money and all that kind of stuff.
But are these prices not even less than retail?
Oh, much less than retail. Much. I mean, the Marsala cask one's half the price of retail. So there's lots of stuff, and I think there's lots of stuff that there's just a correction in it. Now, next month might be different, and we're doing my Irish whiskey auctions because, to be honest, they're the big one in Ireland, the biggest in Ireland. Like, so whiskey bidders and stuff will be interesting to see what their next auction does. It starts next week, I think. So we were supposed to have sort of 2 guests on tonight, but everybody's snowed under rework. And we're trying to get Tony, the whiskey companion himself, and see if he could come on and give us a bit more of an update on this. But he's currently very busy with a couple other things. But yeah.
What do you mean, Manchester City and Manchester United? Is that
No,
what you mean?
no. I can't tell you, but he's a wee bit busy with a couple other domestic things, Justin. Domestic things. But yeah, I say there's just so much that is really, really. I mean, bargains. Do me a favor, take us off just with that old scrolling at the top, because none of that's actually all that relevant.
Yep.
If you go down towards the bottom of the whole thing, the bottom of the market, I mean, you're talking the Swedish single cask redbreast for €250 seems very cheap from what it used to be. Marsala cask 220, but then you have Millennium Bushmills 210, probably a bit more reasonable in many ways as to what was going out there. But the one that really sort of took everybody by surprise was the Bushmills rare cask. Now, rare cask, they're finishing it. I think those Chinese bottlings that there was, that's now the end of them. Which, again, normally if there's a full set, it drives the price of them up, because people then know, right, that's all there is. And I wonder when we're going to hear about the redbreast, the dream cask, that lottery that people went into for €1,000 a pop, and that's the last of the redbreasts. Also, and I don't understand this. I need at some point I'll need to get caught up with him. It's Billy Layton's Swan Song from Irish Distillers, which again you now have that definite collection of dream casks. So that'll be a full collection for people to get, and again that'll sort of bump the price up.
Who knows what will happen?
Mm.
Who knows what will happen?
But it's an interesting time, because a lot of people have invested an awful lot of money in whiskey, and at the minute their collections have just went like that. It'll bounce back again, but where it bounces up to is going to be interesting, to say the least. You know?
Okay.
Now, rather than spending money, why not win some money? White Peak Distillery have collaborated with Man Cave Inc. for you to win £1,000 worth of stuff. We all like stuff. So you can, if you go onto mancaveinc.com, and you can win a year's supply of Man Cave products, which is moisturizers and all that kind of stuff. Without compromising, using these natural ingredients also means that all our products are cruelty-free, verified, and vegan. So that means you can eat them, and Greta Thunberg will not go mad at you. And then you can get a White Peak Distillery tour plus 2 bottles of whiskey. Then a night stay at Wild Hive Callow Hall for 2. Tucked away in 35 acres of picturesque gardens, wild meadows, and woodlands, this charming Victorian country house is perfectly positioned at the gateway to the Peak District. Its uniquely designed bedrooms, tree houses, and woodland hives offer homely comfort at the end of a day spent exploring, and with a bright and airy restaurant serving up fresh, seasonal flavours, tranquil collection of treatment rooms. Now, you can get this if you enter the competition. So if you share the link there, Justine, you can treat yourself or them this Father's Day. So basically, you sign up, enter the thing, and you're in with a chance of winning £1,000 worth of stuff, which sounds like a good deal to me. And White Peak Distillery, I've tried a couple of their stuff, and yeah, pretty damn good now. Pretty damn good.
Yep, the link's on screen and it's in the comments below as well.
Very nice. If you don't want to just win stuff, there are a couple of events coming up. Dingle Whisky Launch and Tasting. Now, this is down in Dublin. I have to just tell you, I was in Dublin this morning, Justin. And it's just sort of quintessentially Dublin today. Because on the way down, I was heading down to the train station, and there was 2 boys knocking the pan off each other. Then we got down a little bit further, and there was a guy upended out of his head. And then went down a little bit further, and there was an antique shop, Justin. Antique shop. Okay, antique shop. Under the Bridge Antiques.
Yes.
And they had all this manner of stuff in the windows. It was all little bits and pieces, statues and all this kind of shit, right? And then in the window, they also had old copies of Playboy. So you can buy old porn mags in the Antiques Roadshow.
I thought they were banned.
I'd love to see you rocking up on the Antiques Roadshow. Fiona Bruce. You go, what do you think? There's all my old wank mags. have a look through them. have a look through them, Fiona. See what they're worth. I was just like, fuck it, nuts. And then walked down a little bit, and there's 2 more boys knocking shite out each other. So yeah, it was like, get me home. But yeah, I thought that was dead funny today. But yeah, in Dublin, there is Dingle Whisky Launch and Tasting. Now, there is Gaelic here. Once they say Gaelic stuff, that's us sort of screwed. This is part of the seasonal release that they're doing. So it's Big Beardy Dave. Join Dave Cummins, our global brand ambassador, or Beardy Dave, as most of you know him, for a whisky tasting taking place on the 10th and 12th of June. Dave will present you the latest release from the, I don't know even how to pronounce that, pot still from our Celtic Wheel of the Year series in the beautiful surroundings of the Banker's Bar down there. So it's 28 euro for a ticket. I mean, Dingle stuff's really cool. Always quite complicated maturations. It doesn't say on that, I don't think, of what it is that is, but that'd be a nice one to pop in and see if you're down that direction, because Dingle stuff is complicated, and they were really the first of the new wave of distilleries. So I don't know where they're all going with this Celtic year thing, but I don't think there'll be probably that many more of these, if I'm honest. I think it's some nice to go down and see.
It's pretty good value too.
Yeah, that's it. And I thought if I was down that direction, which might be, it might be a nice thing to pop in and see.
Very nice indeed. Very nice indeed.
There's also another event coming up, Justin, because I am doing an event in Perth, where we were 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. A spirited tale. Basically, what it's going to be is a little bit sort of a very sort of brief history of spirits, whiskey especially. Basically, just sort of focused on the north of Ireland, up here in Ulster. Not in depth or anything, but just sort of telling a little bit of a story. So it'll be the first one. We're going to have a poaching to start with, because the genesis of all whiskey is poaching, and how it was sort of made here. Then we'll do wee Scotch, West Coast Scotch. Haven't decided on what all we're going to do. West Coast Scotch. Then we'll do an Ulster whiskey, and then we're going to do a bourbon, because that sort of going across to the US and how the Scots Irish and so on took it across, and really sort of the very genesis, if you like, of the certainly their story, not necessarily the genesis of the whiskey story, but certainly their story is found on spirits. And then I will be accompanied by a good dear friend of mine, Kieran Mulholland, who what to do is he's going to play some music while people are doing the tastings. And Kieran is an exceptionally accomplished fiddle player, violinist. So he'll pick the tunes and explain how the tunes relate to the whiskey and so on and so forth, and play it while people are doing the tastings. So we're doing it basically just as a sort of, a one-off. 30 quid a ticket, 4 drinks, bit of music, bit of crack.
Lovely venue, great night out.
It'll be a nice night out. So the tickets are available for that. Get them on the Eventbrite. They are on there. So yeah, to come down, show a bit of support. Come down and we'll have a bit of laugh and a giggle and so on and so forth. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. And that is on the 27th of June.
So still a month away.
A month away, so get the ticket spot and come down, and we'll have a bit of crack. Kieran's such a nice guy, and he's so knowledgeable on his stuff. Really good violin. So he plays everything. I mean, he plays like classical sort of stuff, Paganini and all of that, all the way through to bluegrass. He goes to like bluegrass festivals. So yeah, I don't know whether he do requests, but he matching up the tunes with whiskies and stuff, and sort of telling the tale through that as well. So nice wee night. If anybody's free, come on down.
There you go. Somebody must have been out at the Mayfair in Ballyclare tonight, even though a bit late, just in from fireworks display at the Ballyclare Mayfair, I would imagine.
Yeah, that would be it. Celebrity whiskey time. Yay!
Oh
no. Celebrity whiskey time, because the old Corrick Mill .ie.
Okay.
I've brought out the old Corrick Mill. I've brought out the Milo range, but they've brought out a Legends, and it's in honour of the 30th anniversary of the Ireland team at the World Cup 1994. Old Corrick Mill are launching the limited edition Old Corrick Mill Legends whiskey in partnership with legendary former Ireland captain Steve Staunton. To mark release, Old Corrick Mill is hosting an event here at our distillery, a bottling experience where guests will have the opportunity to come fill their own bottle of the whiskey, cap, seal, and have Steve Staunton sign it himself. Tickets for the bottling experience are limited and anticipated to sell fast. Tickets are €150. This includes the bottling experience, Steve Staunton signing the bottles, photo walks, taking home your own limited edition bottling, and the morning event will be 11 a.m. to 1:30, and the afternoon will be 2:30 to 6 p.m. Tickets are available at the link below. What date is it? What date is it? What date is it? Date. Doesn't actually give you the date, does it? Let me see. I don't actually see the date. 1st of June. 1st of June. So there you go. 1st of June. So if you want a bottle of whiskey signed by Steve Staunton, there you go. You can get it.
Surely these celebrity whiskies have got to run out of steam at some point, especially considering the state of the market at the minute.
Well, I don't know, Justin. All I will say is, if you are a fan of the Ireland team that done well, 1994, and you want to meet Steve Staunton, and you want a bottle of whiskey, and you want to fill it yourself, there you go. Don't worry too much about the old secondary market and stuff like that, because
It's a drinker. It's a drinker.
Well, I don't think so. I think it's one of those ones that people will buy. It's one that you stick in your infinity bottle.
Okay.
Fill up your infinity bottle or whatever. But yeah, it is another celebrity whiskey. You know, that's all we have to say.
Why don't we bring out one?
I think we should. Well,
almost a celebrity. Get me out of here.
I reckon as we should get your harem that you got there.
All right.
Of the ladies, we'll get them to bring out one each.
One each. Yeah.
Your wee face, I guess. Your wee face. I know what we could do. We could get them on the side of the bottle, and you're just sort of like this.
I'm on the back of the label, looking out.
Your face like pressed up against the glass, like this, etched in the glass, like that, sort of peeking around the corner.
All right.
And then at the bottom, we could have a restraining order. on the label, do not to be sold to minors, that kind of thing.
All right.
Oh no, but that's what we could do. So a celebrity whiskey of that description, Miss Northern Ireland. You look at peeking around the corner.
All right.
Now, next up, another weird ad from what you call it, Macallan. I sent you this, didn't I?
You did.
It's just bizarre. Now, this has got a song in it by your woman, Emily Sandy. So we'll probably get Zuckerberg if you play it. But it's Doctor Who doing like Doctor Who shit in Macallan, as if Macallan are like time machine. He's got like a 2049 bottle or something that he pulls out. It's like, what? I mean, I know they used my favourite whiskey advert of all time is the one where everybody turns into birds and all starts flying about, and people going, what the fuck are they selling? And then it tells you Macallan at the end. It makes absolutely no sense. But this is another one that's like, don't get it. Can we play it?
It says I shouldn't play it there, but I can play it if you want me to play it.
Go on ahead. So if we get Zuckerberg, we get Zuckerberg.
All right. Okay. Here we go. Share the screen. Here we go. You mightn't be able to hear it. So.
Well, that's all right. If we can't hear it,
here we go.
It.
If the wind takes new direction, I know we'll find our way. The past will always guide us. It's never gonna fade. The future keeps evolving. That's just nature's game. Time will bring its changes, but our roots, they will remain. Daughters turn to mothers, set sail into unknown. But no matter what the distance, this will always be their home. Generations gather, passing down the flame. Time will bring its changes, but our roots, they will remain. Our roots, they will remain. Our roots are in the soil, they're in the fields, the rivers, is no tomorrow without yesterday. History's within us, it's in our DNA. Hopes on the horizon, the future calls our name. Time will bring its changes, but our roots, they will remain. Our roots, they will remain. Our roots, they will remain.
Now, I'm sorry, I have no fucking clue what's going on in that there. Because he pulls out a bottle of 2049 Macallan. Now, Macallan these days costs about 3 kidneys and a lung to buy, and that's if it's of any age. Imagine how much it costs to get one from the future. Right? I mean, what the fuck? It's just, the song's very nice. Emily Sandé, good singer and all that. What the fuck are you doing? I mean,
I actually don't mind that at all. I thought
I know,
that worked.
but it
It
just
looks
doesn't
like,
make any
the
sense.
39 steps.
I know, but he walks out and he puts on a wee hat and then goes walking in the forest and sits and drinks whiskey from the future.
But it's to like the roots of the product will remain, and she's black, and it's called Roots, and it's like Roots.
Oh Jesus, no!
The
Don't
black
no,
thing
no,
is
no, no, no.
linking it all through together. Are we going to get Zuckerberg, Darwa?
Probably absolutely Zuckerberg.
Okay.
I just don't. I don't. He was Doctor Who. As I say, you can get whiskey from the past. Getting one from the future is even more tricky. I don't.
There's James Stockery. Evening lads, just checking up Justin. And then the next quote is, I must have missed this Doctor Who regeneration. Yeah.
Aye. Oh, not. I see Frank reckons that if we have a celebrity whiskey, we should get a magazine from the
Very good. Very good.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get a free magazine from Justin's collection. Sunday collection.
Very good.
God.
Very good.
I just, but no, that advert, I watched it earlier on in the week. I was like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? I had no idea. I mean, Macallan must just be just.
It looks like a remake of the 39 Steps with Robert Powell. I love that movie, The 39 Steps. I love
But
it.
they must just be chucking money. Just chuck it out, chuck it out, chuck it out. But anyway, I've seen it earlier on. I thought, that's just nuts. Just nuts. Right. What was that today? Because I done something. Oh God, I was at something brilliant today. You know, every so often you do stuff. You do something and you think, this is just great. This is great. I had a great day. And I have to just tell you, it is Créatúr project with Fionnán O'Connor, the guys at Two Stacks, and very and others that were there. Baffles me that there's only about 50% of this is sold. There's only ever going to be about 400. There's only 400 places available in this project, and you buy into it for €250. And I mean, I've got €250 worth of it out of it today. Never mind anything else. What Fionnán's done is remarkable, and what the other guys are doing and will do is just out of this world. Today, we rob at Two Stacks, just outside Newry, at the bonding warehouse. Stuff. I didn't realise Two Stacks have sold 2 million tins. You know the dram and the can tin that they do?
What?
Yeah, 2 million of them they've shipped out.
So why is everybody else not doing tins then for the convenience?
Well, they've got their own bottling line for it. So they do their own
just sell
bottling.
2 million?
They've got their own bottling line to do it. In terms of the, I didn't realise they have released something like 50 different expressions. 50 different expressions. Okay, a lot of them are very limited releases and so on and so forth for bars and so on. But I mean, these guys have been busy. A lot busier than I knew they've been busy, but I didn't think they were just that busy. But yeah, that's what they've been doing.
Like 200,000 would be impressive, but 2 million's pretty.
2 million tins of it all around the world. But I found out loads of stuff today. I found out that because Napoleon sanctioned wheat imports into the British Isles, that's really why wheat never appeared in pot still whiskey, or it did, but not in huge quantities, or it did for a while and then dropped off. And anyway, I found out there was a revenue man called Paul O'Keehan who they kidnapped and forced to do some distilling. But Fanon's just a wealth of knowledge. He's, oh my God, we're so lucky having an Irish whiskey. Just incredible. But because we were part of the Créatúr project, everybody that was there is part of they paid their €250. If you got the train to Newry, there was a bus picked us up and took us over to Two Stacks. Right?
Okay.
We got 6 cask strength, single cask tastings. Price €19. 19 fucking euro.
Why is it only half sold then?
Because I don't think people appreciate just what it is actually happening. And I honestly, it was just super. Now I was sitting beside Peter Stewart, and Peter was down, and of course, the Don himself. The Don himself is there. He'll not be on here tonight because he's away to social. Kit Charles was there, obviously, as he always is. But yeah, pull up the sort of history of Two Stacks there in the middle.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, so that's Two Stacks. Found it with 3 mates in 2020. Two Stacks are powered by the famous Old Dundalk Distillery. One side the 2 largest chimney stacks in Ireland. These chimneys, together with the North Star, were used as navigation by the brave seafarers. We see them as a representation of our values, goals, and ambitions. I mean, these guys are doing some super stuff. Now, the whiskies that we tasted were of varying mash bills, varying ages, and so on and so forth, and different casks as well. The first one we got, now you have a whole pile of photos there, and I can't really see any of them. You can get rid of a load of the ones at the start there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Now,
that's the 2 there.
I can't see the middle. I pull up that one because that's the first one. So the first one was Two Stacks Bowan sherry cask. Now 30% malt, 40% barley, and 30% oats. 30% oats. Now, in a really good sherry cask, now that's only a 3-year-old whiskey, but a really good sherry cask. If someone had said to me when they were dishing that out that was a sort of 7 or 8-year-old whiskey, okay, no problem. Loads and loads and loads of flavour to it. And it's still a bit, you're not used to tasting these whiskies, so it's kind of sometimes, Fanon has good tasting notes in these, but he's been tasting these since the day they ran out the still. So he's had loads and loads of practice on it. For the ordinary commoner garden pleb like ourselves, when you pick them up and it's the first time you've tasted this expression for the first time, your brain kind of goes, that's like something I've tried before, but I don't. And I think the sherry cask does cover a lot of, rounds off a lot of things that that maybe covers up a bit of the youth of the whiskey or whatever. But it was interesting. It was funny and kind of funky because the oat content was just ramped up. Now, Fanon says that sort of 30-40-30, of, as he says, sort of 30-30-30, is just a classic Irish pot still whiskey. He says that's he sees it all the time running through that sort of bag of malt, bag of barley, bag of oats, and it pops up all over the place. But really interesting, really funky, different, sweet in a not a saccharine sweet way, but a bit too sweet for my palate just as it is. Not that sort of sugary, sweety, awful thing, but it's sweet in a way. I just think it would need a little bit more. But an interesting whiskey. The next one, again, another Boan one. This is 30-40-30, but it's 30% malt, 40% barley, 30% wheat, and it's in a neok cask. So a neok cask is basically a shaved cask. So it's sort of a rejuvenated cask.
Wow. I mean, that's sticking to the glass like no end.
Yeah, again, very young, very drying, but kind of spicy. With there was a sort of note that went through it, that very sort of light, fresh tobacco. It's kind of hard to say. It's not smoky in any way. So it's not like burning tobacco, but that kind of that sort of fresh tobacco.
Yes,
You open up a pouch of tobacco and smell. It's kind of like that, but loads and loads of spices to it. Again, very young. You know straight away that's a very young whiskey, but just different than what you're used to tasting. The next one was different again. 2 stacks. That was a rum, another Boan distilled, 40% malt, 40% barley, 15% oats, 5% rye. Now this is the Old Locks distillery mash bill. Fanon talks about how he discovered this, how he read through it, how he got it, and so on and so forth. And again, just the historical content of it was amazing. I mean, it's amazing to think you're tasting something that hasn't been made for a while. Not a terribly long time, but hasn't been made for a long time. Certainly not legally, anyway. And he talks through why this was. Because it was down to taste. That's what people did.
We've got some great previous content on Locks Distillery, don't we?
Oh yeah.
A couple of good podcasts.
Yeah, but it was very almost brought down the entire Irish government at one point. But yeah, a really important distillery in its own right. But this mash bill with a little bit of rye in it, 15% oats. And then that 40-40 malt and unmalted barley. Again, it was interesting. The rum content of it, the rum cask whiskies, if they can be a little bit saccharine sweet, that sort of demerara sugar, muscovado sugary notes that come through, that brown sugary notes, sometimes overpower it. Again, in 3-4 years' time, probably settle down, balance it out a bit more, and it has a lot more flavour. But in terms of just that sort of raw spirit, it's not what you're used to tasting. And it just feels different in terms of mouthfeel. On the nose, it's sometimes quite hard to place. Fanon has all these, he comes out with all these tasting notes, but whenever he turns, he says what people are getting. And a lot of these guys are whiskey drinkers. They've, drink quite a lot of stuff. He was kind of met a bit by blank faces, by people going, I don't know, because they're just not used to tasting this. Now he is, because obviously he's tasted it from day one in its inception. But in terms of a complexity of raw spirit, you do just sit there going, where is this?
And you get all this for under €20.
No, it was under €20. All of this was under €20. You get to spend a couple of hours with. I don't think there's. I don't think Scotland has anybody like Fanon. They just don't. There's other guys that are really, really good at what they do, but there's not anybody just like
And
Fanon.
he's a young fella. Hopefully, he's got 50 years in front of him.
Oh, geez, fingers crossed. The next one up, now here's a real one, because the next one up was the that's not the one. Flick on to the next picture, Justin,
Hold on.
because that's
Is that it?
That's the one there, because that one is the Créatúr cask. That is the cask that anybody who buys into the Créatúr project, you buy this bottle. You're getting a bottle from this one cask. And this is the same mash bill as the one before. So it's 40% malt, 40% barley, 15% oats, 15% rye, and it's aged in a Oloroso sherry cask. This was a lot better than the one before. I didn't particularly like the rum one. It's too young, it's too lively, it needs a lot of work and settle down. It needs to just let it alone. This is a different thing. It's lovely mouthfeel, but again, that sort of weird funkiness. Amazing.
There's Kit's made it back, and he behaved. And
Yay!
What about Big JJ? I mean, he's not too far away, and Yuri. He should get down there and try this, shouldn't he?
Oh, I mean, Kit will back me up on this. What an amazing array of stuff! And listening to Fanon, just having him there, it's just I'll not blow smoke up his arse because he knows how much I think of him. But yeah, just an amazing day. But then came something spectacular. I mean, I picked it up, put it to my nose, and the first thing I did was just break out with a smile. It was just that good. And then I found out it was 1 year in cask. A year in cask.
This is this one I've got to go back to. That one.
It was 2 stacks, sleeve league, peated, single pot still. 70% peated malt, 30% barley. I mean, it was, pardon my French, fucking out of this world. It was just amazing. I picked it up, nosed it, and the first thing I did was just smile. It just genuinely brought a smile to my face. The guys around me were pretty much the same. They were just like, that's just out of this world good. It was beautiful oiliness to it. The peat content of it was like a real hard-hitting peat, but I mean, a year in cask, just lovely balance to it. It was fucking unreal. I mean, genuinely unreal. A lot of those rum cask whiskies, I mean, the rum was there, but it wasn't. It was bizarre because it was just sitting there, being a little bit sweet. Just hiding there for the rum cask. But in terms of an absolute spirit, it was just out of this. I'm genuinely blown away by it. I messaged a guy whose opinion I do genuinely value. And if I say something to him, and he'd be honest with me, and I said to him, I just tasted something amazing, and I told him what it was. And he says, it's funny because I was at Whiskey Live last week. He says, and I didn't get to taste that, but he says, I picked up a whiskey, not dissimilar to the one that I was talking about. He says, and I nosed it, and he says, I just broke out smiling. He says, I'm thinking of putting that now as a tasting note. Made me smile.
Right. I mean, okay.
I just thought the sleeve league pot still was easily the best thing I tasted. Easily the best thing I tasted today. And there's a few of them were really, really tasty, but it was just head and shoulders above everything else. It really was. The last one, well, the penultimate one, I suppose, was the 2 stack sleeve league peated muscatel. And
Is
it
it?
was, yeah, and it was fabulous too. Not just as good as the rum cask, I have to say, but I mean these are year-in cask, one fucking year-in cask, and they were ah
Like,
super,
correct me if I'm
super.
wrong. Was there not somebody from Scotland around Fife that was doing very young stuff that we tried at one point?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and in terms of a new make spirit, fan, fantastic stuff. And but theirs was single malt, and it
right.
was. I mean, it was super. But that stuff there was just off the chart. I genuinely thought it was remarkable how good it was for 1 year in cask. Fucking hell. Um, and these are all sort of part of this project going forward. I everybody involved in it, and it should should be praised to high heaven. I mean, Kit says some of them are dry as fuck. Yeah, some of the ones were they're almost like a chokiness to them. It just dries them out, and there's no real finish to them. There's no age to them. These are all brand new whiskies. The Sleeve League Peanut one, just it was just incredible. I mean, genuinely, I was blown away by how good it was. And I looked around, the guys sitting beside me they were all just basically the same. It was like that is incredible stuff. Yeah, and you just when you're tasting stuff like that, you just know quality when you're tasting it. I mean, the Boan stuff was superb. Um, the sherry ones, uh, sherry in a lot of ways kind of can mask some of the youngness or feelings or whatever you think. But in terms of the peated sleeve league, I tell you, I'm really looking forward to tasting that going forward because it just fantastic. I've been yeah I was on the phone to a couple of people telling them about it, and yeah.
So you basically got to taste all
Mhm.
of them for €19,
And got left there and back again.
right? Okay. Is like Bertie Ahern subsidizing this or something like that, or
Look, do you know what it is? It's because Fanon turns around and he says, I'm not really interested in making money. I just want to do stuff that's exciting. Um, and I mean, Jesus wept. Did they mention at what age they may be thinking of bottling? 7. And he says the reason for that will be because 7 is sort of the classic age of Irish whiskey. It was, um, I mean, Jameson used to do the not a drop sold till it's 7 years old, and that's kind of the sort of classic age of Irish whiskey. So he says at 7 they'll bottle it. I assume by that stage you probably think it's ready to go.
Peter thought it was a great day and the sun was shining, and Kit Chard says you missed more crack at JJC's.
Yeah, I put it like this. Anthony from Irish Whiskey Auctions, him and Katie was there, and down to their pub for a drink. Unfortunately, I mean, to get down home took me a long time to get down here. As was, I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have been here before midnight. But I wish I could have went. But well, how can it be crack if you were there, Kat? It can't be good crack if you were there. Must have been rows. Rows fighting and arguing was there.
All right. All right. Did you just leave him in the streets of Dublin? Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no. Don't Jesus. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But no, only joking.
You had a good time. Look at your face here. Look at this here.
Well, see, this is the Créatúr cask. That's why we all got to sign it today. So we pull it up full screen. You can't really see it just in that. But we were all signing it. So Peter,
You can see it.
Peter took that photograph, and obviously his. Is that your baldy head I see in that, Justin, or is that Peter's thumb?
No. I'm not on screen. That's Peter's thumb, I think.
All right, that's okay. But no, we all signed the cast today, and again, it was just one of those. But what whiskey really should be about, guys tasting stuff, having a bit of a laugh, and doing something a wee bit special. The guys at Two Stacks were fantastic. Shane and Liam. sun shining, nice whiskies, for no one talking about weird stuff, giving very bizarre tasting notes, tasting some interesting, some good stuff, interesting stuff, and a cup and something really fantastic, and so on and so forth. Just a nice day out, and I mean, it's for buttons, for buttons. I mean, even but you couldn't buy a crappy bottle of whiskey for what we paid for today. Do you know what I mean? Anyway,
Very good. Very good. Recommend people sign up for that. Where do they go? Just Google Anne Créatúr and you'll find it and sign up
Go.
for it. There's more events coming up pretty soon.
Oh, there's another one coming up. Is it the 1st of June? Something like that. Or he told us there's more stuff. I mean, it's just happening all the time. He's getting guys to come over from Scotland to taste pot stills because that's what he says, and he's 100% right. People in Scotland have no idea about Irish whiskey, nor do they really care that much. Because I mean, Scotch is, and no matter what all the bullshit about, oh, we're going to overtake Scotch whiskey in the world. No, we're not. I mean, Ireland's miles behind, and it's not. I mean, it shouldn't be a competition in that regard. You should do what you're doing. The 11th of June. He's got guys coming over, so there's just this stuff will be happening for 7 years.
Wow.
So if anybody's had any interest in whiskey, you really should be signing up for this. That's just great. You do have to put up with Kit Charles, but that's worth.
All right.
But no,
what another great show. Another great show tonight. Another great show tonight. And a wing and a prayer. We just made it in time. Remember to comment, like, and share. We're live most weeks. Next week with a special because I'm at a school reunion. So it's a special. Next week we recorded.
I'm somewhere. I don't even know where I am next week. I think I'm in Nairn.
You're in the middle of nowhere anyway, so
I don't know where I am.
So we need it. We have one in the can. It will be going out. You haven't seen it, and you want to see this one because it's pretty unique and interesting.
It's a bit odd. It's a bit odd. We got caught up by a guy across the pond. But yeah, he's well worth listening.
Well worth watching. Remember,
bizarre.
Yeah. So that'll be out next week, 10 p.m. For you to watch. And well, we'll see you again live in a fortnight. Good night.
Take care.